And apparently I didn't hit it. Now I got it.
Mm-hmm. You're live. And we are live with Sunday Night with those guys. Welcome.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? And welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. How are you,
I'm
Herman?
good. I
What
can't
happened?
complain.
Wasn't Justin just here?
Yeah, he said he had to
Oh, there he
take
is.
care of something and come right back.
Okay. What's up, everybody? You may have to refresh because, as you notice, Herman, those 4 likes are gone.
Uh-huh.
So we might as well get rid of that. There's 3 watching now. They will figure it out sooner or later. Above and beyond, drones. What's up? How are you, buddy? What Paul was talking about as far as Oh, wait a minute. Sorry about this. What Paul was talking about as far as the show starting and you being stuck in a limbo, coast to coast, and whoever else is that was in that beginning chat where they set a reminder, that becomes non-void for some reason.
Okay.
And goes into limbo because Zoom actually starts another window.
Does it?
But people are starting to pop in. That's good. Yes. Yes. Here's Paul. What's up, Paul?
Hello.
We were just talking about you. Geek Vana, Sean, you got an invite if you want to come in if you want. If not, we understand. We know it's late over there. We were just talking about it, Paul, that you are right. There you are, getting your blood sugar nice and normalized. But we were just talking about what you said, how you wait before a show starts. And then when the live stream starts, it actually restarts a new window and everyone gets stuck in limbo.
Yeah.
Until they figure out that they're in the wrong window and they need to refresh or whatever.
That happens every time, Paul?
Yep.
It's been happening as of lately every time. Jay Santiago, thank you very much for donating to my birthday cause on my Facebook page. I appreciate it, Jay Santiago. Al Diaz, how are you, sir? You know, Facebook, they
Hey,
try
Jay,
to get you to...
how's it going? Al, what's going on, man?
Facebook tries to get you to stand up for a cause for your birthday. So I picked St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Okay.
And Jay Santiago and someone else, I can't think of the name off the top of my head. They donated some money towards the cause. But how was everyone's week? How was you? Well, Herman, I know what happened to you. Herman had a bad mishap before the live stream.
Nothing serious.
What with you, Paul?
Well, it's just been spent
Jay
the last
Merce.
couple of days getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah. You know how I know I'm getting ready for Christmas? Because as fast as I make the money, it's gone. No, like I work part-time, right? The other day I made $80. By the time I laid my head on my pillow, I had 20 in my pocket.
You know, I just refreshed the YouTube page.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
Thanks,
still not,
Sean, but not until December 9th.
Go to the actual page.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to the actual live stream. For some reason, if you are already, and this is for you guys in the chat, if you are at the live stream waiting before we start, as of lately, for some strange reason, when we start Zoom, it actually starts another window instead of just opening up that window. Why that is, I don't know, but complain to YouTube about it. Because by the time you sit there, hey, Mr. Crawley, I sent you an invite. Geeks Vana, I sent you an invite if you want to come in. Nacho Rolling, how are you, sir? What's good? What's going on your side of the world, Paul? I see you putting out ships like a freaking coin machine.
I did a ship today, and I still haven't done any editing because I was out up the ladders and down the ladders, and Lynn's son-in-law has been helping me put Christmas lights out.
Okay, Al Diaz says you're stuck in purgatory when the show starts and it's stuck like that.
Yep. Yeah, you could sit there for a long time thinking, well, they're just not on yet.
Yeah. What's up, Justin?
What's going on?
And the other thing, if you're over there, it doesn't show you the actual live chat that's going now. It just whoever happens to chat in that.
Before we clicked,
Right.
right before we clicked at the beginning.
Yep.
But anyway, as far as a topic for drone news, the only topic that there is that made any major news was that guy that got sued, got fined $200,000. It was.
No,
Was
he,
it?
he
What
originally
was the amount?
It was
originally got
originally.
was 14,000, and
Oh, 14,000. I was looking at something else then. Got my
well,
numbers.
no, he got originally I think it was $14,700, and
Hold on. I thought I bookmarked the story.
yeah,
So if you guys want to check it out, I don't know if you should be able to hear it too.
I don't know how much.
Oh, no. The man was fined $20,000.
yeah, but originally
Right,
he
the
was it was
20,000 from
14,000, and he never responded to the FAA.
Now, Paul, do you happen to know if I play this video, you guys
Yes.
will be able to hear it?
No, we might, but you might get a copyright.
Copyright, yeah, because it's YouTube.
Yep.
Because right, it's a copy of YouTube. I got you. Well, we're not going to go that way, but what I'll do is I will put the link in and you guys can check it out
Yep,
after the
that's
live
the way to
stream.
do it.
But it goes on to say, now I can share the page though, that it's on to the link. So I'll do that and I'll put the link in the chat room as well. And it says the man's fined $20,000 after his runaway drone landed at a major airport. Now, if you scroll down, this is the actual story itself. It says California man learning the hard way that if you ignore the FAA's drone regulations at your own risk, he's facing nearly $20,000 in fines from the federal government after his runway drone flew to a Las Vegas airstrip and landed in an active runway at Las Vegas, one of Las Vegas's main airports. But if you scroll down and you see this play button here, that is actually Caesar's Palace on screen right there.
Yeah, but go down and see where it says he originally was fined $14,700.
Yeah.
he failed to respond
In
to the
April of
FAA.
this year, his disguised drone was returned to him alongside with a letter listing what the FAA spokesperson calls a litany of violations and a $14,700 fine. Making matters worse, his name is Busiaga, something like that, failed to respond to the FAA's letters for months, missing the appeal period and racking up additional late fees. So in other words, had he went to court and said, I didn't have all that money, it wouldn't be up to $20,000 now.
Now he's probably scared.
Scared he should be.
Well, the thing of it is he probably is an idiot.
I
You know, I mean, it's like
I was trying to keep from saying that, Paul, because I said
how do you have a flyaway nowadays? I mean, a handful of flyaways in a year, but it just happened to this Busaga Budaga? No, I don't think so. You know, I think
you know what?
I commend them for flying a Phantom 3 around all those buildings.
Well, see, therein lies the issue, and may have had an issue with why he had a flyaway. Because, let me put the link in the page. Because if you look at the video, right, the guy shows the news report, right, and in the video, listen closely. In the video, I believe he was flying one of the hotels, and the hotel got between him and the building, and the drone just said, "Keep going," because it was too fluent and too smooth, and it was all bird's eye view looking straight down, which means when the flyaway happened, he was looking straight down. You know, if I didn't fly drones, maybe I'd believe that bull about he had a flyaway. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think it's all a
Muted.
hokey story.
Yes.
It's a hokey story promoted by news agencies that don't like drones.
Right. But
You're
what's
muted,
up,
Matt?
You can hear us? Oh, in the right-hand corner.
There you go.
There you go. Hear me?
Yep, Big Matt's in the house.
Now we can
What's
hear
going
you.
on, Matt?
Hey, how y'all doing? All right.
We're okay. Looks like you're in a construction site or something. There's like a little micro delay, but don't worry about it. You'll get used to it. Now, what's funny is about that story, who says there's helicopters flying low around the strip? Exactly, just the way they do here in Manhattan. Helicopters fly low around the buildings. Now they can only go but so far and so close. But
Well,
I'm going to tell you, we know, Matt, Herman, all of you guys know, if you pay the helicopter driver a few dollars, the pilot a few dollars, he'll get that much closer to those buildings in the Statue of Liberty. There's plenty of times we've seen these tourist helicopters for money fly below.
Lawrence, you know what the thing is too? The way the FAA regulates
I'm
airspace
still
is
here.
totally confusing. It's totally confusing. If you remember when we were in Atlantic City, at a certain point of Atlantic City is out of controlled airspace. And I
Right.
was confused about that because there was helicopters flying in there low and there was no lands to be used for us to fly. So, being as that it was out of controlled airspace, so it's all,
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
fortunately, we are experienced enough to know.
understandable. But what I'm trying to say to you is this: in spite of the fact that this guy, I don't know what his education is about flying a drone, but if he had any sense about flying a drone, I don't know how long ago this happened to him. But Las Vegas is no fly.
Yes,
Exactly. The whole strip is no fly.
No fly.
exactly. Now, this is why if you tell the average, hold on, let me come back on camera here. This is why if you tell the average noob that's new to drones, oh, this guy had a flyaway, he flew over the whole Las Vegas strip. The path was over the Las Vegas strip and landed in an airport a mile or two away.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a noob, like I said, I would believe that. But because I fly camera drones, I know for a fact, whatever stage you're at when you lose signal or connection, the camera stays like that. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, like I said, he was looking down, and the only thing that I'd be looking down at if I was flying around there would be at the buildings. And also, when he had the flyaway, drones don't just go up to an altitude and fly away. They stay at the same altitude they are. So he was illegally flying at an illegal height anyway to clear those hotels. Nonetheless, not to mention, like you said, Herman, and
Well,
everyone else,
let's
the
say
Las Vegas
let
Strip
we all
is a
saying that
no-fly zone.
we're all saying that he didn't have a flyaway, and this is the thing that I proposed to you before, Lawrence. And this is something, play devil's advocate a little bit here, and this is something that we like to do. We like to beat up on people with these situations, and watch. I'm gonna go with this one. He was, yes, in spite of the fact he was in a no-fly zone. Let's say he did have a loss of signal of his drone, and it did take off and go with it. We saw it happen to people already. We've seen it happen already.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we can't say that it can't happen. Now, only with the drone is the drone pilot still responsible for a manufacturer's problem. If that was an automobile
Mm-hmm.
and it malfunctioned,
Mhm.
if it was an aircraft, a manned aircraft and a jetliner, and it had malfunction like that, he wouldn't be responsible for it.
Right. Right.
Only with a drone is he
Except-
responsible for it.
Except Herman, in an aviation accident, there's usually very little to recover. In this case, it landed on the runway, and you bet it got confiscated. And
It
you
did.
bet
Oh,
they
yeah.
could
Actually,
bet it could have gotten sent to DJI to be evaluated.
well, if you look
No,
at
it was given back to him by the
airport,
airport and the FAA.
right? When he came
The
to
FAA
collect
gave
it,
it back to him.
and
And
that's
then they
how he was
fined him.
able. That's how he was able to give the footage to the news, because
Right.
I'm going to
They
tell
gave
you
it back to him
something.
with the SD card.
Yeah,
Wow.
But
Yeah.
if you and I, though, Herman, had a flyaway, let's just say we did,
Mhm.
and
Right.
you gave us the drone back, what would you the 1st thing
Mhm.
you'd do? I'd send it to DJI and say, "What the hell's going on?"
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I would. Yeah.
now
Because you want them to back you up, especially if you violated that bad.
But that footage would be something.
You want to get out of jail
what's
free.
up, EBR? Well,
No, you're absolutely right, Paul. You're absolutely right. I personally would because it might
It's already
be
sent, Mr. Crowley.
14,000 now and something that I could probably work my way out of.
already
But it could be
sent it.
something worse if I continue to fly this thing.
Yeah.
Well, can I say one thing? and I mentioned it earlier. I believe he had a flyaway, and it was an original flyaway because he was filming one of those buildings over there looking down. And I don't know about you guys, but some of us are experienced enough to know that once you lose signal, you press up, hoping to go up to regain that signal.
To
Now,
regain signal, yes.
that's someone. Hey, Jerry Freeman, that's someone
Lawrence,
who
give me a
knows.
second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's someone who may know, who knows, has a little more experience and time under their belt. You learn these things as you go, because
Yep.
I didn't know that at first. But I did have a flyaway and with one of my very first drones, but I didn't panic. Unlike most people, Hubsan drones are known for flyaways, if you didn't know. Okay. And it had to do because they kept updating their firmware and the firmware couldn't catch up with what they needed to do. But these drones are infamous for doing toilet bowl effects. Now, if you don't calibrate them right, or there's a beer can next to you, or a penny laying on the ground when you calibrate it, the calibration is going to be off, and it's going to do a toilet bowl effect and start spinning like this. And
Mm-hmm.
it, what happens is it goes to, when you hit auto takeoff, it goes to about 15 feet, and then it starts swirling like this in a very, very tight circle. And if by the second or third rotation, if you don't realize that drone is badly calibrated, the circle slowly gets wider. Then it
You're
goes to
gonna
10
lose it.
feet. Then it goes to 25 feet. Then it goes, and a natural person's instinct is, when that happens, is to press up. Now, what you do by pressing up is you're giving it more room to just go get wider and wider and try to connect to satellites. And fortunately, I was flying at the beach, and I knew that I would rather hit a sand dune than anything concrete. So when it
Mm.
came around about the sixth or seventh time, I just pulled the throttle down and it went boom into the sand dune, and I broke a prop.
Somebody told me that that is known as the halo effect because of
We
the circling, you know?
we A lot of people, it depends on where you're from. A lot of people call it the toilet bowl effect,
Yep.
Yeah.
because it's like a little mini tornado. Now, I've seen DJI drones, rarely, but I have seen DJI drones take off and then you know, start drifting maybe to the left or to the right. And automatically, if your drone takes off and you don't have enough and does that, and you don't have enough sense to put it back down on the ground, I'm not going to say you deserve to lose your drone, but you should take some lessons from somebody.
And Lawrence, that's from bad calibration, and plus people don't have their location on. When you don't have your location on, it can't lock onto satellite.
Exactly. Exactly.
Curtis
But
Dart said if they uploaded the log to air data, that will tell everything you need to know.
well, that's usually what happens. DJI, their flight logs are more accurate than any other drone company that I know of out there. And their flight logs can tell you what speed you were traveling at, what height you were, whether
Stick
the drone was
positions.
tilted 13
Yep.
degrees to the left, whether the motor burnt out due to an obstruction or it was an ESC. They can tell all of these things. And my only issue with DJI is, like Herman said, why aren't they responsible for flyaways? Think about it.
Mm.
They're selling you a product that could, well, they proved that it couldn't hurt anyone, but I believe if a drone hits you from a certain altitude, it'll knock you the hell out
It hurts.
It sure will.
or cut the hell out of you. But if it lost connection, oh, whatever. I wasn't watching the chat.
Wow.
But this guy, what do you guys think? Honestly, should this guy have to pay a fine for
Sure.
flying in a place that it was a no-fly
Well,
zone?
first of all, it said in that article, didn't it, that he ignored the FAA continual correspondence for months?
Right.
Well, that was after
Wow.
he had got caught.
Right. If you listen to him in the video, I understand his explanation. And
The actual video, the news report is at that link. I posted it again. But
so sometimes, I don't know. I don't know. He was afraid of what was going to happen. He just
It's still
He couldn't
a
afford it.
violation regardless.
Yeah.
well, I just believe I can't. like to believe that he was a new pilot, and like most new pilots, you try to find out the best thing about the best rules and everything, and he didn't do his homework. So I'm going
No,
to
I
give him the
understand. Yeah,
benefit
you're
of the
right
doubt.
about
But
that.
because it was a Phantom 3, there's no way you couldn't tell me. Hold on. Las Vegas is in the middle of a desert. The only buildings that can give you only thing that can give you an obstruction out there are mountains, which are not near Las Vegas, and
Yeah.
buildings. So if he lost signal, guess what? He was by a damn building and with a Phantom 3.
Yeah, he was by the building. Watch the video.
Yes, that was my point earlier in saying
Watch the
he should
video.
have contacted the FAA. You know what, Mr. Crowley, I sent you a link, man. What happened? You said send you a link. I sent links out to everybody who usually comes in.
Well, I think if he actually contacted the FAA, I think they would have slapped him with a lower fine. He still would have had to pay something.
Yeah.
Right.
And he would have had to pay a fine, but his excuse was he couldn't afford it. He was afraid. Basically, that's it.
That's
You know what I mean?
understandable. That's understandable. But you mean there was no one in his family that could give him any kind of consultation on this?
But see that the reason that I think you guys are being overly kind to the guy.
Yeah.
No.
It's like
No,
if
I'm not.
you get summoned to court, Herman. You say I didn't want to
I'm
go
not.
because I was afraid.
Was he summoned to court, or did he get the fine in the mail? Because if they wanted to do anything to him, why did they give him back the drone?
True.
The FAA gave
100%
him the
true.
drone, or did the airport give him the
The
drone?
FAA
I sent
gave
it again,
back to him.
Crawley.
In the video, it says they contact the FAA, the airport,
Mhm.
contact the FAA. The FAA investigate because he had made a. Here's another bone. The guy's a fucking. Excuse my language. The guy's a bonehead because he mislabeled his registration on the drone.
That's another violation.
I'm trying to be kind to dumb animals, Paul. I'm trying to tell you. He mislabeled his drone.
Well, they did release a new
understand what I'm
movie,
saying?
Mr. Rogers, this weekend. So,
But if you think about it, he mislabeled it, and they still found out who he
Right,
is.
they still found him by playing
My
around with the numbers. They found him
My question
and
is,
gave it back to him.
my question is, and maybe it may be a little cynical, but come on, Matt, help me out here.
I'm gonna try.
Sometimes people mislabel their drones in case something happens.
intentionally.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Now,
That's
I'm not
possible.
saying I know anyone that has done it, but I've heard people talk of it.
No, it would be stupid because if
They
your
still know
serial
who
number's
you are.
still in it.
They still know who you are. I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you, and
Your
one of the
serial
main
number's
ways,
still in it.
I
one
can't
of the
believe they
main
gave him
ways,
back his equipment
So
Yeah.
they gave him back his
for
drone.
flying in an airport.
Well,
I mean,
no,
come on,
no,
guys.
no,
Airport,
no.
he end up
It
in
wasn't-
For
the airport.
landing in an airport,
He
losing
was-
control
no,
of his drone.
he didn't do it. DJI did it. Let's get
Oh,
that
that's what
straight.
he's saying?
No, he was
It flew-
flying a
He
drone
had a
over.
flyaway.
He was flying a drone over the Las Vegas Strip, okay, or near the Las Vegas Strip, and he lost signal.
What's up,
Okay,
Jay?
the drone flew over 2 or 3 hotels, major hotels, which leads me to believe the path that drone took, it couldn't have been any more premeditated, because in Las Vegas there's no wind.
When you
It's a desert.
when you go to court, right? It's not based upon what I'd like it to be. It's based upon what he said happened.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
to me, it didn't take the
You
court
understand?
serious at all.
Your drone flew away. Okay, this is what you say happened.
Yep.
The only way to prove or disprove them is to look at those flight records.
Yep.
Let me explain something to you, and I'm gonna be honest about this. Right now, I live near one of the largest airports in the northeast coast in the United States.
Mhm.
If I sent a drone up and it was able to make it through the no-fly zones, which is another thing, because it was Phantom 3, that might have been why it made it through the no-fly zone.
What kind of Phantom 3 was it? A standard?
It was, I don't know if it was a standard or a professional or what. They don't go into detail, but it was a Phantom 3. Now, if I was able to land my drone or make it land on an airport, the
I don't
next
think he
damn day I'd
landed
be
the
in
drone. I
jail.
think it landed because the battery died.
Yeah,
or
the LBC
It
kicked in.
says landing now.
But the airport not only well, not
Warning,
only
go
that,
out.
but
Because it did travel quite some
the
distance. If
runway
you ever
was
been to
the
Las
runway was
Vegas.
also active. The airport was active. If this is in the middle of the day,
That's
or
what's
whatever
scary
time
about
was, and the runway was active. There were planes taxiing or whatever. Fortunately, this was a gap and it didn't land exactly in a runway. If you watch the video over, you'll see it landed when it was coming down. It looked like it was going to land on the runway, but it actually landed off to the side. But hey, Poosters, Andrew, what's up, dude? How are
Hey,
you?
Andrew, how's it going?
I
How
don't
are
know.
you,
The guy had
Andrew?
no control over his drone, no matter what.
We would love to have you in here one day, Andrew, at your
Even
convenience.
if it's for a few minutes.
Yeah, right. Even if
Hey,
it's for a
Roger.
few minutes.
But Lawrence, you gotta think about this. The airport didn't pick up the drone or see it. The only reason they found that drone because someone on the runway,
Yeah,
like
maintenance.
worker,
A maintenance worker had saw the drone sitting on the runway there. And you know what I would have did? The first thing I would have did when I ran up to that drone, where's the SD card? Because no one would have got that thing unless you paid me for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
that's I
You,
know it sounds
you know what the next story would
Hey,
have been?
Roger.
That's something.
The guy who found the drone was getting sued by the guy who flew the drone for stealing his property.
That guy's a knucklehead. I'll tell you what.
He'd have been
Hey,
suing
Andrew.
you to pay his
Andrew,
fine.
I'm gonna send you my email. Give me a second. Okay. Can someone else kind of like take over while I send him this?
Yeah, Lawrence, doing something like that. I don't know if you're a worker in the place, you don't take anything out of anything that you find. You bring it hold as it is to them, because the people
Mhm.
who lost that will make that complaint that something was taken from it, and you'll be the one fired,
Well, you would think
and you'll be the one
the
that.
first thing he would do when he spotted it, he would call airport security. Say,
Yeah.
hey, there's a
True.
drone out here.
That's exactly what happened, Paul.
Yeah,
They-
that is.
I
Hey, Joe
watched the
Matt from
video, and
Dublin.
the airport people, they
And Tom, how
contacted
are
the
you?
FAA. They got it to the FAA. The FAA did the investigation of finding out who the drone belonged to. They contacted the guy after going through the fact that he mislabeled.
Send me an Hey, Andrew, hold on,
He
guys, a
mislabeled.
second. Hold on a second. Andrew, send me an email to that and I will get you up in here
Why don't you
ASAP.
just ask Roger?
You have
to
about
send him
another
the
10
link.
seconds and then I'm going to get rid of it.
Why don't you just send the link to Roger and ask Roger to send him the link?
This is true. This is true too. All right.
But
You may-
yeah.
you may do
So
that as well.
what happened?
I would say you might want to do that as well. Send it
Yeah.
to Roger.
Roger,
Well,
I'm going to send you an email right now, please. If you can forward it to Andrew, I would appreciate it. But anyway, I didn't want it to be like we were beating up the guy, but I'm going to tell
we
you
can
something.
beat him up, but let the guy, get some shots off.
I think he got the shots off.
This could go so
I
many.
hope so.
Okay, never mind. I got it. I got you.
But yeah, boy, he mislabeled the drone like a meathead. And
This story would have been
if you
totally
You
listen,
got it
different if it was New York.
mislabeled too?
yeah, if you listen
Yeah,
to the
it was
guy,
wrong
he's a
numbers on
total moron.
See, I'm trying to be real nice here, and you guys keep bringing up facts. Last week, when I said it's not easy being nice to people, the
Hey,
whole
Lawrence.
room went hilarious.
Hey,
Sure, I'm
Lawrence.
showing you how to do
You're
it.
an idiot.
Now
Lawrence,
you guys are hacking this.
sometimes the nasty facts get in the way, don't they?
Yeah, I know.
But Lawrence, I'm trying to show you how to do it.
All right,
how to be
all right.
nice to.
All right, I give.
I'm trying to show you how to be nice to those people. That
I
it's hard
sent
to
it,
be nice
Andrew.
to.
Oh, hold on. Lens Capture, who's Tom here in New York. You guys know him.
Mhm.
He said that Las Vegas is known to have a consistent 20-mile-per-hour wind, which would be nice, and that would count.
Yeah, especially in the
that would
evening.
explain why he was drifting in one
Yeah,
direction.
that's a desert
Especially in
wind.
the evening. But if you see where he traveled, Lawrence, because I've been there several times, you saw the distance that he traveled.
I haven't
That-
seen.
that's
I've
a
been
one-way.
trying. I've been
That's a
looking for.
one-way trip on that battery, boy. That's a
No,
nice
I
little
was
trip.
looking for a map or pictures to see the distance, because not only did he fly the Las Vegas trip and go over 2 or 3 hotels, but the airport is a mile or two away from.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spent that
Is a
battery
mile or
going.
two away
Yeah.
from. You're right. That was a one-way
Hey,
battery.
there's Andrew.
He
Hey,
went
Andrew.
over. He went over desert and city.
Well,
How's it
Andrew,
going?
you,
That's a good drowning.
Andrew, it's good to have you on Sunday nights with those guys. And I can say the only way that you can get a blue wrench on our show is to come on the panel.
see, I'm a little more fussy about who gets a wrench. It's a big process. It takes years to get one in our channel. So
All right. I understand completely.
you got to
No.
swap, and that's about it.
What's your take on this dude? I mean, we know that he was flying illegally. We know you can't fly over Las Vegas, but because he didn't go back, he didn't go to court and respond to the FAA's letters. They said we're going to fine you $14,000 and change when they gave him his drone back.
Ooh,
The
man.
kid got scared. I gotta say, he's a kid or young man got scared and
Mhm.
said, "I'm not going in." Now the FAA was nice enough to send him letters repeatedly.
Yeah.
And now the fine is from $14,000 and change up to $20,000.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
And all he had
You
to do
know,
was
here's the other thing is where does, I know the FAA has some investigation into this, obviously, but is it really $14,000 worth? You know what I mean? Do
Well,
the fines have to be 14,000? I understand it's an airport, but nobody got hurt. The situation was obviously dealt with
Okay.
quickly.
All right. So explain where YouTube gets their price where they want to fine you for COPA.
Oh no, that's the same thing. That's freaking ridiculous, man. Yeah. I'm like ripped about just stupid things about that.
I mean,
But
nobody got hurt in that bank robbery either when they got away with the money with no without hurting anyone.
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game.
I
But I
mean,
mean,
it's a crime. It's
What are you
wrong.
saying, Andrew?
isn't that
Right, but so isn't speeding. I mean, come on, a speeding ticket worth versus flying a drone, I can see where that would be a lot more expensive versus
Hold on. What was
Mm.
Andrew trying to
firing a
say?
bank up, you know what I mean?
But isn't that part of it when the FAA got involved with it? The same here as with Canada. It's the same as COPA getting involved with you with the FTC getting involved with YouTube. Once you cross that line and get into a federal bureau that's managing it,
I'll
Right.
be right back.
things
Not
aren't
to-
the same as they used to be. We can't play the innocent card anymore. Whether
Yeah.
like we've done a lot of things since the apocalypse. You know, we've had live streams and people, oh my God, I'm worried I'm going to lose my channel. I'm worried to lose a video. Now I'm worried I'm going to get fined. That's what happens when the federal bureau steps in. It's no more kids game anymore. You have to
No.
be way more diligent. They always are known, and they're going to treat it more as if it's either a drone or it's going to be a terrorist attack. They all fall in the same category. Everything's extreme penalties for violating them.
No doubt you're gonna have penalties and stuff like that. But when you say if I'm out flying my drone and I get everything identified perfectly and something does happen and mechanically it lands near this airport, and I
Mhm.
was in a no-fly zone, I mean in a fly zone, and I went into an airport, am I gonna get a $14,000 fine for landing in an airport out of my control?
well, you got to think about it. He's near an airport. He
Yep.
was probably a mile away from the airport.
See, but that's even more into it. He was obviously breaking all the rules to begin with.
Mhm.
I agree, he should be penalized, but
Mm-hmm.
then again, I mean,
If you
But
think
the-
about it, last week, the president was here and they sent out the letter saying there's going to be a temporary flight restriction,
right.
not fly your drones. If you get caught, it's an automatic $20,000 fine.
Well, and the other thing that really bothers me is he mislabeled the drone
Fly your drone.
identification numbers. You know, it's like,
Yeah,
hello.
Yeah.
nothing
See,
was in
that's-
his favor at all. And that's the thing. I'm sure with the FAA or the FTC, you're playing with the big boys now. Because think of the FTC not long ago before they dealt with YouTube, were dealing with television stations, etc. All big corporate.
Same thing.
It was the FCC until they got involved with drones, where they deal with the smallest thing was a Cessna, for God's sakes. So they're going to take on rules and penalties based on what they've dealt with in the past, and they're always going to be this way. They're always going to be bigger than what YouTube taking away your channel for 90 days, or if you flew a drone before, the sheriff coming over and tell you to bring it down and confiscating it. We're playing with big boys as soon as they get involved, and big boy games come with big boy.
Well, you want to know what?
Just want to say one thing. I don't agree with it. I'm just saying that I find that's the facts of it all. That's what it comes down to.
Well, Tom has a point here, lens capture in the chat, and he says the FAA has kept our airspace safe for over 60 years. And I have to back that up by saying in the last 60 years, if you looked at how much man has advanced with flying in the air, Dubai, they have police riding on hover motorcycles. They have the hover taxis. We have drones. Now we have drones that can go 10 miles. We have drones that can go 14 miles, 15 miles. They just opened up a new 50-mile drone highway here in upstate New York. So the FAA, as technology has changed, the FAA has been doing a damn good job. My problem is, and Herman mentioned this earlier, is how come when you crash a car and when brakes go out, you're not as liable as you are for a drone that falls out of the sky?
Because the FAA is a lot strong. It's a lot more, because I was just saying about the history of what they deal with. They're a lot more stronger on their stance versus the road highway safety code. As much as that sounds bizarre, up until these things, everything was large scale. Everything could smash buildings. So they're doing everything. They're not taking into account that it's a drone almost. So they're using the same penalties if they were finding, in the same grade, the same as YouTube's doing to us versus what they did to national network televisions that violated it.
I guess Andrew is right in the fact that let's say it was some idiot got in a Cessna and didn't check in, didn't file a flight plan, and it had the wrong tail numbers on it, and went and landed it at the airport.
Okay,
what do you
but
think
listen,
that fine would be?
What do they do? Here's another situation. And what do you do with the guys here in the state of New York? I don't know about any place else, but here in the state of New York, if I buy a helicopter kit or a Cessna kit and I build it, we do not have to put a transponder in it and or contact certain air traffic control towers when going out to fly with it. How does that apply also?
Well,
you understand what I'm saying?
If you did a homemade, you wouldn't be landing at a major airport either.
This is true, but suppose I had to make an emergency landing and I needed to land there. They're going to turn me away to some local helicopter pad or something.
Oh no, they tell you they got a couple of wrist bracelets they want to give you.
Listen, guys, before we get too far into the live stream, and we have a full panel of people out here, and Andrew's first time on Sunday nights with those guys, can we get a drop in?
Okay.
Now,
good.
Andrew, the way we do our drop here is one of us on the panel goes Sunday nights with those guys is sponsored by, then everyone goes those guys all at the same time.
All right.
Okay. So you ready to do this? Matt, this is your first time here too. So Matt already knows. He's watched the live stream.
I'm nervous.
Here we go. Sunday nights with those guys is sponsored by
those guys.
Those guys.
We highly appreciate it. Who was the slow person?
Me, probably. Well, thank me.
No, it's okay. It's good.
I had stage fright.
Just for a point of reference. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Curtis.
Well, just for a point of reference, I mean, people were talking about, the FAA has a governing body as well. They are not the lead on this. Their governing body is the Department of Transportation, which is also in charge of your driver's license and everything else.
Yeah.
They regulate the FAA. So when you start talking about fines and penalties, the things that I could do on the road as a licensed CDL driver who drives hazmat is much, much more dangerous than what a drone pilot or even a pilot could do. And my fines are nowhere near what that guy got.
Exactly.
Well, Curtis, my question is, if you were driving a truck that was mislabeled and didn't have the proper license,
Timothy, I sent the link.
What would happen to you?
I'd probably lose my license, number one. Probably would go to jail for 100 days. Probably, and I think the fine is $5,000.
But I think
not anywhere near $20,000.
But you brought a good point up. It is backed by the transport, but it seems within their scope of the FAA, fine within their scope. You know what I mean? and anything in the air seems to take more precedence, and they've just added on to what they already had. It almost needs like somebody to come in and bring it down to more of a either a subculture or subdivision within. They're looking at it almost in the same scope, I would say, as they are like in Cessna.
Well,
Tom is
here's
saying
my
in the
take
chat-
on this is, since I came in late, my take is that he was out there flying. I've watched the footage. I think he was filming a lot longer and had control longer than a lot of people think he had.
Hmm.
And then at the last couple of minutes, I think he lost
agree.
control. I think he lost control of it. I just think the fine is excessive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Way too excessive. And this is just my opinion.
I think they're doing that because he didn't respond to their letters. He didn't show up and everything like that. I think
Well, that's true, but even under the worst case scenario, for those of you that don't know, I drive a hazmat truck. It's loaded full of propane, acetylene, hydrogen, all kinds of stuff that goes boom. My fines in the absolute worst case scenario are nowhere near $20,000.
Well, it started out 14,000, and because
My fines are not near
several months have gone
$14,000.
That's crazy.
You know,
Wow.
Now, with the exception of if I murder somebody, I'm saying something equivalent to what
Right.
he's done. I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the truck is in the wrong spot. And there are places where I'm not allowed to have, like,
Well,
I'm not allowed
Tom
to,
in the chat.
I'm not allowed to stop underneath
Tom
the
in the
bridge.
chat, lens capture is saying that he could get it brought down to earlier in the chat. He can get it
Reduced.
limited down to 1,500, and he can still get it reduced.
he probably could. I don't know, but all I'm saying is that guy saw the 14,000. He said that's half of my year's salary.
Yeah,
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
right.
And he panicked.
Yeah.
Because he's stupid.
Ain't nobody gonna argue that one.
For a lawyer, this is a great thing for a lawyer.
Well, I thought I was.
You didn't pay the fine.
Yeah, but it's the same as COPA. I mean, right now you can go up to 42,500. They're admitting now that's going to go more on your scale and stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. But I bring up the example of somebody goes in the gray area without having kids into it. They're on a farm. What happens if they get 10 videos at $300 a piece? It's still $3,000. It's not. It's following the scale. It's not as much as what they would charge a television for messing up, but it's in the same scale.
It's all free, Doc. Just pisses me off.
That's the thing. It's a way overdone for what could happen.
I got a great punchline for you, Andrew.
Oh.
I got contacted by an adult film company to do some motion graphics for them, just some titles and stuff.
Oh, I do adult films.
Yeah, there you go.
And
I knew somewhere.
in my conversations, these films go on Pornhub, and I mentioned, yeah, we do this thing called drone porn. I said, we need our own channel because YouTube's screwing us over. And they go, okay. So I'm uploading to Pornhub from now on. Screw YouTube.
Really?
Literally, screw you.
Good for you. That's a great.
I don't think it's actually going to happen. I think everybody was just having a good laugh in the room at the time.
That's a huge.
Rave, real quick, for those of you who just came into the live stream that don't know what we're talking about the gentleman who supposedly was flying a drone out in the desert near the Las Vegas Strip, and he lost control. It was a flyaway. Okay.
On the strip.
And the
Guys, I
drone
need 5
flew
minutes.
over the Las Vegas Strip and a mile or two away and landed at one of the main airports that bring people into Las Vegas.
Lawrence,
Yeah, that is the main airport.
he took off from the parking garage outside of one of the hotels.
I was trying to be nice about
What
it,
was
but
Michael Philly Drone Life doing in Vegas anyway?
Oh my God! I flew up the airport. Oh my God! I went over it. I could just.
for those of you who don't know the story, I'm putting the story in the chat here. Check it out after the live stream, but it's a news report. It shows footage. Now, I mentioned earlier, and I have to stress this, when you lose signal with a drone, the camera tends to stay wherever it is. And you'll see that the camera is doing a bird's eye view, and he passes over 2 or 3 hotels perfectly. Now, supposedly he had lost control or lost signal or whatever, and you'll see in the video that he flies perfectly over 2 hotels, catches a promenade, the tops of the buildings, and then later on, the
Right.
thing gets LBC, low battery charge, and lands at the airport.
Mhm.
And do the camera
The camera
distance
never
have a
moved.
change?
The
It never
camera never
changed?
moved one time,
No.
which leads me to believe that had he lost control, I know one thing: if I lose signal, my first instinct is to go up.
Yeah, he was filming.
This drone did not go up. It stayed at one fixed altitude, and the camera stayed like that. And someone on the panel mentioned that it looks like he had a little more control, a little further than he claimed he did. Hey, Drone Life, but that link right there shows the video. It's the actual news report. Check it out after the live stream, bookmark it, and you decide yourself. I don't know if they were talking about it on other live streams. I'm pretty sure they were, but that's just my fix on it.
So
I
his
say
fine
give
was
him.
what?
I say hang him by his balls.
He got a fine though.
They fined him 14,000 and change, and because they gave him his drone back, gave him a
Got the
fine,
camera on him.
and said you have to appear in court to show up and let's discuss this fine or whatever.
He got
And
a
he didn't show up for about
$14,000
2 or
example.
3 months. What happened?
He got a $14,000 example.
Right.
Now
And
we're
then-
talking about it, but I bet you won't fly in Las Vegas.
Now, by missing those court dates, which they're very lenient, they'll give you one time. The second time, it had to be 2 or 3 times. And make a long story short, now the fine is up to $20,000 for him.
You lucky
So-
you don't get picked up.
But he got scared. They hit him with a $14,000 fine. They gave him his drone back and said, "You got to pay this." Hey, Red Dog Drones, and usually they give you a chance to have representation and explain your case before they slap you on the hand or put the cuffs on or whatever. So he didn't attend any court date, and they made multiple attempts.
I do find the fine though excessive. I do find it an initial one.
Of course, it's all excessive.
But at the same time, if he got numerous attempts to go to court, they was trying to work with him, at least hear him out. But he didn't show face, so they gotta make an example.
The initial fine was heavy, but I agree with you on that. He had many chances to try and rectify it, and that was completely on him.
And that's probably what they said. That he ain't showing no concern. Just hit it with a number.
Timothy
Respect,
Huxell,
yep.
you guys know who he is. He
Yeah.
says that he can bet the guy is on the FAA watch list. Well,
Of
Timothy,
course he is now.
I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you something
I
about
know
that
people on
FAA
the
watch
watch list
list,
too.
because that
We
FAA
all
watch
do.
list, there are people in here in New York that are probably on the FAA watch list.
Almost definitely.
Okay, and a lot of people refuse to believe it, but
Yeah,
a
man, I
lot of
heard
these
that guy's
Facebook
funny,
groups,
though.
a lot of these a lot of these Facebook groups out there have been infiltrated by the FAA, and they have all rights to do it, because if you have a group out there and
YouTube
guys are doing some illegal shit, hey, and
Oh,
you know that you're not supposed
I had a contact with the FBI. I had to go meet with them because of one of my groups. If you guys want to hear that story.
Wow.
So
Go ahead.
legitimate true story. We had one of our groups, and I got a bunch of messages from folks. I wasn't even online at the time, and my phone started blowing up. Hey, ISIS is in your group recruiting. And this was from my friends. And I'm like, no way. I said, no way. So sure enough, I went in there, and there's a guy saying, yes, I'm with ISIS. And he's posting videos of drone strikes. I mean, real drone strikes. In our drone group, and he's literally saying you should bring your drones to Afghanistan, et cetera, and you should repent from the U.S. government, et cetera. And then I get a phone call from the FBI in Tacoma saying, "Is this your group?" And I go, "Yeah. Can you come down and meet with us?" I go, "Am I in trouble?" They go, "No, we just want to talk to you." So I went down and met with them, and I said, I went through how we vet people in the groups and stuff, and our process has gotten a lot tighter now. It used to be we just let everybody in, but now we streamlined the process. And if you don't have drone footage or drone photos on your personal page, we don't let you in. There's certain names in certain countries we look at. I mean, that's stuff we do. But yeah, I met with the FBI because of this, and they are in the groups now, and I've got a direct line. And so far I've called them twice, and the original guy was actually in the United States, and they arrested him.
Mm-hmm.
So they tracked this guy down who was posting this stuff, and he was ISIS.
Hey, Joe
Or
Mack
an
from
ISIS
Ireland.
sympathizer, I
Thanks
should
for
say.
watching. You know what? You it's for that reason.
So don't say they're not in Facebook groups. They're there.
It's for that reason that not anybody can get into those guys, New York City. In fact, I ask people who are members in the group, if you invite someone or someone comes into the group, they have to be able to vouch for you. This way, if that person screws up, I can say, yo, Ray, you let him in.
Yeah.
You let him loose.
Yeah. And
You
I don't care if they're in another group.
And
I don't care if they're in another group.
I would rather have a small quality of drone pilots than to have 10,000 people.
Timothy's responsible for me. He let me in. So if I screw up, it's Timothy's fault.
Well, I'm still a little pissed at you guys for starting that group to begin with, but we'll leave that alone. I still haven't gotten over that. And if you don't remember, Andrew, it's one of the many times that I was on here ranting about another particular drone group.
I do.
Timothy Huxell and Curtis Dart on the panel decided to start a group in protest to the group that I was ranting about.
Are you serious?
And somehow we wind up starting the group, and now those guys New York City.
Really?
Now, I've been trying for some years now to get out of these groups as administrators. I don't want to administrate in groups anymore. I've been through all of this crap and this man on man drama bull and on MySpace.
Right.
Do you remember? I don't know if you're familiar with it, Andrew.
Oh, I remember it well.
Do you remember a broadcasting service called Now Live?
Embrace it, Lawrence.
Wow, that's
okay. I used to do internet radio shows on Now Live.
That's the IC2 area.
Yeah. That's a
embraced it, Lawrence.
We've been through all of that. Stop it, Herman. I'm ignoring you.
We've already covered this.
So to go through this again, Andrew, is like, I don't want to go through this crap again. I don't,
Every group starts with a kumbaya session and ends up being the most vicious, cutthroat group you ever seen. Like they all we're very different guys. We're not gonna have drama. We're good friends, and then within a month, it all starts to untangle.
Yep. All because Andrew went to Matt's house and had a hamburger and didn't invite us.
Right. It's usually.
You know what I'm saying?
Usually,
how it is.
There's a great opportunity here with Andrew joining us today to discuss COPA, and there's a lot of things that I think the people that are in the audience of those guys probably are unfamiliar with, that Andrew could shine some light on. He helped me out with understanding how all this works with one of my videos that I did not think was a child video, but he quickly pointed out children will Google stuff like that and they will find that video and watch that video. So I'm not trying to derail where you guys are going, but I'm thinking since Andrew's here, this is a great opportunity.
I got about 8 minutes if you guys want to talk about it for a few minutes. And we actually debated your video after I was done with you, and Xavier's like, well, maybe not, and blah, blah. We got into like an hour-long debate over your video, but in the end, I think I won her over.
How much time do you have left?
I got about 8 minutes.
Okay, well, you could use 5 of it.
Okay, sure. I'm sorry. That's why I wish I could stay longer.
That's okay, because if you use 5 of it, we could do one more drop because we didn't have Ray here when we did the last one. And we usually do a drop at somewhere midway, and this is the midway point. At 6 of our 2-hour live stream.
Okay.
Because usually people pop in and out. So you want to take full advantage.
Sure. I guess in the end, like I'll customize it towards you guys. Every niche is going through it, by the way. I just got out of the aquatics channel, JH Aquatics. They're discussing exactly the same thing. The same thing I was the other night on a panel with RC, Tank RC, same thing. You guys all walk a bit of a fine line. I think with the drones, you guys are a little bit luckier. Even though a lot of kids like drones, it's not like RC trucks and that it doesn't have such a history in children. But in short, I'll give you this example. I'm going to be a drone guy. Okay, guys, I want to show you the Mavic 2, and it has this and this and this and this and this for 10 minutes. You're pretty much on the good. You do not have to market as for children. But now say your kids walk by you halfway through or twice during it and say, hey, Dad, how are you? And we'll keep going. No, most likely that's not still considered for kids. if you start using kid language into it, you know, and you know, I don't want to use the term, I'm trying to think of a better one now in my head, I got dumbing it down, but I don't mean it that way. I mean talking a more softer voice with more kid oriented themes into it, you know, and this is where the propellers go, and this is, as soon as you dive into that realm, you're very close to marketing for kids. You should market as such. If your kids spend a majority of the time in your video, you should be marketing for kids, because kids are they gravitate to other children.
Mhm.
That's the big part. So even if you're just I mean, why use this example? You're using the exact same script. We're just changing scenarios. So you're
Right.
saying like the Phantom 2 has such and such and such, but your kids are standing there most of the time with you. Kids are attracted to other kids. This was the video we were discussing of Curtis's.
Yeah.
Now, this here is not something like Sesame Street, but let's face it, a gigantic rubber
A
duck.
child would turn and look
Yes.
at the screen and
Exactly.
Yeah.
It hold their attention. And this is very important. This is really important. People are not realizing this enough. Pets play a huge area in whether your video should be marked kid friendly or not. If you have your dog with you, your cat with you for a long period, makes a predominant scene. And the argument with the gray area is just what's predominant. Is it 2 minutes out of a 10-minute video? Is it 5 minutes of a 10 video? Is it them coming back 3 times during a 10-minute video for one
right.
piece? So you really have to go on the conservative side to protect yourself. And if your kids are involved a lot into it, or your pets, you've fallen into advertising for kids most likely, and want to do it accordingly.
So what about kids that just appear in the video? They're one cut.
Yeah, kids are attracted to other kids. Kids like to see other children. They tend, if they're browsing, I mean, we're talking as the FTC right now.
Right.
See other children on the screen, they're more likely to sit down and watch it. So that's considered like a form of bringing children in to watch it.
Let me ask you a question then, because I run a nonprofit for kids, and I do a lot of basketball and football, just different things like that.
Right.
And I tend to video, you know, the games and stuff like that. Would that be something I would have to label?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Good to know. Good to know.
Because it has children in it more than a certain amount of time.
You guys are the ones that are going to pay. Your example, like there's one of those examples is going to pay the price dearly for a couple. Same as with the FAA a while ago. In the end, every law is extreme because a couple of idiots screwed it for the rest of us.
That's pretty.
That's what it comes down to. We're all paying the price for a small minority, but so was speeding. Most people knew to stop at a light. Most people know to stop. It's true though. That's where most laws come. It's not the majority does it. It's a small majority that.
Now, would this also relate to like a lot of guys I know they do rap videos and they got kids in the rap video, younger kids that rap videos too.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm gonna start letting a couple of my guys know that, because I shoot a lot of rap videos with the drone stuff and things like that. So that's great to know.
Okay.
So basically, you just gotta before you put the video up, you have to put a hashtag or label it like this is suitable for kids or whatever.
No, and then that's a good point. No hashtag, no disclaimer on your video and your descriptions for anything, whether it's copyright, whether it's for this, nothing ever is accepted by YouTube. You have to disclaim, you have to, in your video, when you're setting it up, your upload or your live stream, you have to say that it's geared towards children.
That's the new thing. I wanted to mention that. Now,
what you say, Lawrence? I didn't hear that part. What you say?
I wanted to mention. That's what I wanted to mention. Now, when you upload a video to YouTube, they give you that option. Is this video classified as a child's video, or is this video not classified as a children's video?
Yep.
You have to pick one of those options.
Okay.
And don't put it over
any uploads.
Some are saying, "Oh, put it over 18 to be safe." Please don't do that, because you shadow ban yourself. YouTube will not.
Right. They kill 18 plus. Instantly and statistically, if you see something 18 plus, they tend to go straight past it. But let's get in a drop real quick before Andrew gets out of here, and we get a children's copyright with the dog.
You got the dog in the video.
Okay.
I got you with a rubber duck, and I got you with a dog. I'm going to get you shut down.
Oh my God. Yeah. See how we live in, Andrew. You see what they do here?
Disclaimer.
Wait, hold on, Andrew. I have a disclaimer. The views and opinions that were heard here tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel tonight. Curtis, start.
The other thing I was going to ask Andrew about was, I keep hearing this phrase that if your video is not commercially viable, that your channel could be deleted.
Yeah, it's in there. but it hasn't been set in stone. I would really back off. I wouldn't worry about it too much until we get more onto that. It's not
Okay.
defined, but yes, it's just another loophole for them to take down a channel if they think. But I mean, most of you guys are not in that case. They're going to use that more on channels that are deemed that cross the line too many times, can get pulled or haven't been on in ages. You guys don't think you have to worry about that.
Andrew, do you think they're targeting bigger channels, like with
Oh,
bigger?
definitely. This is going to end up in front of the courts already. There's going to be probably 3 or 4 big channels get hit with the maximum. They're going to end up in a lawsuit for 2 years.
You mean like Mr. Crowley's channel? He would be targeted, right?
Yeah, he's
Right, because he shows the rabbit all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to see him and
Plus,
PewDiePie.
I do my shows in the nude. You
Yeah.
guys don't even realize I get no pants on half the time. And I'm
Well,
like,
what about what
Okay.
about Val with the pickle?
Let's stop it. Stop it. Don't bring up the pickle.
The pickle.
Don't bring up the
The
pickle.
pickle's a problem though.
The
Pickle is an
It
issue.
will have to go. It will
Yeah, pickle have to go.
Yeah. Jeff. All right, let's get this drop in so Andrew can stay on schedule.
All right. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, man.
Mr. Crowley, are you ready?
oh, for what?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is the last drop of the night. It's 6 p.m. We'd like to thank you all for watching Sunday Nights with those guys. You, Andrew, and Matt for coming on for the first time.
That was a
Of
pleasure.
course, you know the only way you can get on a Blue Wrench is by coming on the panel. But Sunday Nights with those guys is sponsored by
Those
Oh,
guys.
guys.
Yeah.
Andrew. I'm glad this isn't in 3D because that finger.
I was,
That was a nice little depth of field shot right there.
I feel like you're gonna poke someone in the eye with it.
Not me, man.
Anytime, Andrew, you want to pop through or come in, you're more than welcome. You got a Blue Wrench. You can actually sit in the chat and say, "Where's my invite?"
I actually listen to you guys while I'm setting up a lot of times. That's why I'm not interacting, but I am listening, and I love it.
That's highly appreciated. That's
Thank you.
highly appreciated.
So,
And wait, I have one thing before you go.
Mhm.
I have to get on you about this. When you have the wheel of shout outs, you think you're freaking slick, right? He has no letters planned, but 3 times I've come to the wheel of the shout out wheel. You know, he yells out 2 letters, and then he puts your channel up, and you try to get your numbers up. 3 times I've come to your live stream. He's, "Hey, Novice Quads, what's up?" And he spin the wheel or whatever, and the letter is NQ for Novice Quads.
He did that to me too.
I do.
I appreciate it because you've actually gotten me a few extra supporters that way.
That's good.
But I'm like, here we go again. Watch him say NQ, and he goes NQ for Novice Quad.
I always try to say something to make him smile. I'll say something in the chat to make him smile.
All I have to do is say hello, and he starts.
Oh my God. And
Paul's an easy target.
Yeah,
He's
they
on
banned
everyone.
me from the
We
channel.
call him the Ed McMahon of YouTube.
he is.
Andrew's wife bans me from the channel when I go on.
No, she doesn't.
She hates me.
Okay.
She's a Crowley hater.
That's because she knows you're sitting there with no pants on.
Hey, we don't want to talk about that.
She does
See?
not hate you.
And the truth is revealed.
No.
Cover your
God.
ears
Oh my God.
because
Uh-oh.
Oh, see,
Uh-oh,
Mr.
we're all in
Crowley?
trouble
You
now.
done started something.
Uh-oh,
here.
uh-oh.
Well, then it's I'll pitch it. So there you go. There's our new promotion. This is Xenia's commercial for our new clothing line.
Check this
cover
out.
your ears because it is time for
Hit
Super
the
Sticker
deck.
Super John,
Hit
Super
the
Sticker Super
deck.
John, Super Sticker
Oh, yeah.
Super Sticker Super John, 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 Super Sticker Super John. Thank you so much for being so kind. Thank you.
That's
Andrew, if you want to put a plug for your live stream, now's your chance, man.
oh no.
Again?
Well,
I just did. I just did the clothing.
I know you did, but you're already on here, so you might as well say when you're going on next.
Tonight, 7 p.m. is Lawrence's favorite, The Wheel, where I'll be calling out NQ on the first run. So,
Now we know.
you know, they figured it out one night on a Tech Talk Tuesday. They spent an hour, the guys in there. They figured the average is 13% chance when I use your letters that you'll end up on the board.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they went back and actually started going through and figuring out the percentage wise of how possible it is to get picked.
All right, we're gonna have to come up with something extra there.
That's right. I'll call it somebody else's letter to give you a better chance.
Look, anytime, like I said, anytime you want to come in, you're more than welcome, man. Seriously.
The drone community, back to Roger and every one of you. You guys have been so good to us since I met Roger last year. I mean, it's daisy chained into all you guys, and I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. You guys have been there for us countless times, and is definitely, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, mean the world to me. You guys are some of the most amazing people, and I know you got drama in your niche like everybody else's, but you guys have always been fair and good to us, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. So I just wanted to say,
we appreciate you as well. Seriously.
Thank you.
And if it wasn't for you, sometimes I wouldn't have somewhere to go.
well, you're always welcome. Love having you, and you guys always make me laugh.
Andrew wishes I would go somewhere else all the time.
No, you are one of the kindest people on YouTube in general, Paul. You really are. I've seen you do so many great things for so many people on here. You are definitely an unsung hero. That's for sure.
You know, Paul, you could pass for the spokesperson for YouTube.
Yep.
Butt kissing here.
Or
drones.
Or multiple personality disorder, you know.
Listen, everybody on the panel, do me a favor, everyone on the panel. Hey, what's up, Carpenter Rick? And type in the chat. So if anyone in the chat has not supported you, Eli Nunez, what's up, brother? How are you? Another New Yorker. Jay Santiago, all of you guys that are there. If you haven't supported someone, support them.
And hit the like button.
Because YouTube is unsubscribing us all at an alarming rate from each other.
It is. I've had to resubscribe to several people on the panel now, so I'm kind of used to it. I just know every 2 to 3 months to go through my main friends list. Now, how do I have Justin Drone Evolution and Herman Phantom Flight 101 featured on my page and have to resubscribe to them periodically?
Yep.
I just put the link for Pusa in there so you guys can go check him out.
Oh, you didn't have to. Thank you very much.
Well, I was kind of hinting at that, but Andrew seemed to let it fly over his head.
No,
so
I know. I know you.
I didn't want to miss the opportunity.
I appreciate it. That was really kind of.
No, that's okay, man. We appreciate you. And anytime you want to come on a panel or you have 5 minutes away from the wife or some downtime, you're more than welcome to join us, especially on Herman's live stream, because he's that close to becoming monetized.
Oh, we're gonna have to get him over the top.
When I say that close, I mean you could probably spit further than he needs to get monetized.
What are you missing? Watch hours you're missing?
Yeah.
How many?
I'm not exactly sure.
He's close to that 240,000 minutes or 4,000 hours.
Well, then watch it, guys. Grab his playlist tonight, let it run, and get everybody else.
Indigo Rhino, how are you? Thank you for the thumbs up. And as far as drone news, I don't have a whole lot more other than we were talking about that dude.
I do gotta go, guys, though, but thank you so much, Andrew. Okay.
We appreciate
Thanks for stopping in and hanging out with us, Andrew.
You guys are awesome. Keep being
on. Bro. Be safe out there.
Cheers, everybody.
Have a good one, bro.
You too.
So
Indigo Rhino, I saw your FPV print. Not bad at all. If you guys are not in, hey, Joe Mack, thanks for hanging out all the way from Dublin, Ireland. We appreciate you. What time is it over there? I never get the time difference down right, but that's neither here or there. Hey, Matt, you know what dawned on me? Hey, Dawn? Matt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, what dawned on me is I don't look at people like that, but now that I get to look at you on screen, I couldn't tell if you were asleep or not because your eyes are very, very tiny.
I know.
You know?
I'm trying to stay awake. I'm a night person. You know, I stay up all night and I basically get my little sleep on during the day. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure you're awake and still with us.
No, I'm up. I'm awake.
Okay. and for those of you who don't know, Big Matt always comes to our live streams, and him and Ray are buddies, and we've all come to know each other here in New York. And I apologize for not having you on here, man, but it's at one time we did try to maintain some order.
Not a big deal. I'm here now.
Hey, let me add real quick with about Pusa Studios. If you guys go watch his show, even if you don't participate in the wheel or anything else, just drop a few comments in there. You're going to pick up subscribers. that channel
That's
is
true.
just
That's true.
amazing.
If you go in there, and you say,
Just amazing.
if you go in there and you say, hello all or hi, you will definitely pick up supporters. Now, the only thing is, if someone says hi, Mr. Crawley, how Mr. Crawley has nothing else to do. We
I never
have
used that
those
before.
who don't know Zoom. We have an interpersonal chat here for everyone on the panel, and Mr. Crawley just likes to amuse himself sometimes.
Well, there was an anonymous thing to everybody on the panel.
Yeah, I don't know. I got it
I don't
too.
know who it came from, but it says that Mr. Crowley is cool.
Yeah, I got it too. I got it's crazy world we live in.
Okay, few questions.
Paul,
what
I
are we
thought you
doing
when
this
you
week?
said that, I thought you were going to go Manamana.
No.
Phenomena.
That sticks in your head, man.
Phenomena.
You know, when you sent me that, Paul, I did have a flashback because I used to watch the Muppets, and out of the entire Muppet Show, the only two things that I liked on the Muppet Show was the scientists and the two old men.
Yeah.
In the back at the end of the live stream. I think
yeah.
they should have had their own live stream. Oh,
And like
Lawrence, from
animals?
prop to tip is 3.5 inches from the hub. Okay, all right. Because I was asking, well, I what I'm talking about with Roger is Furball Kim was looking for props, and I thought I remembered hearing him say that he was looking for some 50-46 props, which are dual props. Okay, you got it working. Damn, that's bright, yo.
Yo, that's bright.
Wow.
You're going to fly it. You're flying at night with that?
No, I didn't think it was gonna be that bright.
Oh,
UFO,
wow, that's bright.
man.
Dude, you're definitely going to get a UFO sighting with that.
Oh, no doubt. It's gonna look badass in the air.
I
After
want
all
to see
that,
a
my
video with it.
VPX is
Getting
jumped.
back to what I was talking about, I asked Roger if he was looking for, so he says from tip to tip, it's 3.5 inches. And from the hub, the length is 1 3/4. Okay. So at some time and point, I will check these, Roger, but I do have some props that are dual props that I thought he was looking for, and they might fit. So I'm gonna go get something and measure those real quick and get back to you guys.
Yeah, but Kim can also use three blades too.
Yeah, I know he did, but someone
He
had
just
gave me
doesn't want
those,
to for some reason.
someone had gave me these here, and this one came with a bird that never made it into the air. So I figured I don't use buy props, so might as well give them away. Give me a second, I'll be right back. You guys can talk amongst yourselves.
Banana.
talks amongst ourselves.
Keep
So anybody
'em-
flying at all? It's nothing but rain here.
Well, we didn't have good weather here today either, but anybody flew? You
It
got any
flew
flying?
yesterday. It flew yesterday. I got some flying. I got about 10 packs in.
Okay.
And then
I flew the other night.
Yeah, I saw some stuff you had posted. I don't know when that was, but
Yeah, I'm trying to get good with night flying. I'm still
see
trying to actually get
you
my
having
settings
fun
down.
with that Filmora.
Yeah, I love it. I just downloaded. I got the Filmora Pro. It's kind of difficult. Yeah,
it's kind of similar to Premiere Pro.
It is.
I was going to
You never
say,
used it before.
isn't Filmora like Adobe Premiere? Because
Well,
from
the
what
Pro
Herman
version,
was
not the regular
describing
one.
to me, it sounds like they are.
It's getting
Filmora Pro is more like Premiere. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't have enough time to learn another software program. Okay, these are definitely not for Furball because these are 5-inch props here, which leads me to believe that the others are 5-inch props. And I thought I might be able to give them away, but I guess not. I don't know anyone that used
you all right
dual.
over there, Paul?
Phenomena.
Paul's entertaining himself there. And it's funny, he has it on cue too. All right.
Please search for that.
Roger, from what I just measured, these are for 5-inch props. but I don't know anyone. I don't use buy props. So if there's anyone out there that uses 5-inch buy props, you're more than welcome to have these. I mean, they're light as hell, so it should cost nothing. I edited your first video free download Filmora last night and put it on your channel. We'll check. I'll stop by and support your channel there. Hold on. Joe Mack. Those of you who don't know who Joe Mack, he's listening to Sunday Nights with those guys from Dublin, Ireland right now. So I am subscribed to you already. All right, so bookmark this. All right, you're good to go. After the live stream while I'm eating dinner, I'll check that out. He said he used a free version of Filmora. Those of you who don't know, Filmora, if you can use that, well, I don't know up until the new version they have out now. It looks like Adobe Premiere, but up until version 8, Filmora was basically you could teach anyone how to edit software with it. I think they've complicated
pretty
it
much the same. They've changed a couple of things here and there a little bit, but still the same.
Power Director
says he has a lifetime version to use Filmora, and Filmora is a good basic editing program because it has a little bit of everything. It has a little bit of Final Cut, it has a little bit of Adobe. I liked it. I came from using Filmora before I went to Adobe. I'm not going to lie, and I had no problems. In fact, before I went to Adobe Premiere, I was a lot happier.
No, not you, Lawrence.
Huh?
Not you being happy. That's not like you.
You know, it's worse enough I got my wife and daughter calling me Scrooge every year. All right. You know what they brought me for a gag gift one Christmas?
What?
Scrooge pajamas. And I'm not talking, no. Picture a man 6'3" in a giant onesie with a Scrooge hoodie.
Did they have footies? Did they have footies?
No. Yes.
Yeah, footies too.
Found it. Listen. It was a one-piece Scrooge outfit from head to toe. They had the size 14 foot and everything. I don't know where.
Oh my God,
Lawrence, you've been holding out. We want to see the pictures. We want to see the pictures, Lawrence.
You still got it?
No, y'all, no, hell no.
I bet there's pictures floating around somewhere.
No, I no, there's no pictures. Paul.
I'll bet there is.
You know there is.
No. I'm telling you,
somebody's gonna have a picture of it.
That's very hard to find.
Trust me, there are no pictures. Trust me, there are no pictures on the internet.
What's your wife's cell phone number? I bet we can come up with some pictures.
Nope.
He's got pictures.
Listen, it was like Mission Impossible.
She's got pictures.
Integrated in seconds. That's all I'm gonna say. There's nothing on the internet and or in any other family member phones.
Right. She's got pictures.
That's a big onesie.
Lawrence.
What?
If the shoe was on the other foot, you wouldn't have pictures?
No.
No comment.
She's got pictures.
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
Let's change the subject. Who's doing something FPV? and
Curtis is working with his new
Curtis. What's the progress with that? Because Curtis has one of the 5 drones that were built by Hadley's famous FPV. Justin has one behind him, right behind him. I got one here, and now Curtis is the proud owner of Hadley's famous FPV.
I was actually one of the first to have
Sean
them.
said Scrooge FPV. Someone might take that. What happened, Curtis?
I said I was actually one of the first to have one.
Yeah, that's true. He had one, and then we found out that Hadley had more, and then Justin and I brought the last 2.
Not being familiar with how to set all that stuff up, I'm still not running.
Well, not okay. I have a video by someone named Blue Falcon. They are no longer alive, but his YouTube videos are still on YouTube, and he has a video on setting up switches. And is that what the issue is, or you're trying to bind it?
No, we got it bound last night.
Okay.
That button was like freaking amazing to get to.
Oh yeah, yeah. You will find.
I had to get very creative because you have to push the button down and plug it in at the same time. And I was like,
oh,
what?
Dude, you got to have the magic fingers. I do it regularly now, right, Mr. Crawley?
Yeah, it's like a norm for me now.
I can press the button, power up the battery, and take a sip of beer at the same time.
I had a flathead screwdriver stuck in there, thinking I was pressing the button
don't
down.
do that.
No, don't ever use metal. You will fry that thing before it gets off the ground.
Or you'll crush the switch, and then you have to solder a switch.
I did that using something, and
maybe that's what I did. Maybe that's what I did. I don't know. But anyway, it did bind. And I've got all the lights are on correctly, and the goggles work. Videos coming through, although we're not sure what channel it's on for some reason.
Doesn't matter as long as your goggles lock on automatically for now, and you're not flying near a group of guys.
Well, I've got an older set of goggles that don't have that search function where it searches for the channel, so I find the video on several different channels on several different bands as well.
Well, you know what it is.
Wow.
If it's on 58.75, usually one or two bands up and one or two bands down.
Right.
Usually,
you'll see it's like weaker picture.
Right. If you do an auto search, it will find either that main one or one up.
Well, there's no auto search on my goggles. They're an older set of goggles.
Manually, you have to go through and find out what the best picture is.
Right.
But what other issues are you having?
So when I go to power, I need to assign all the switches through Betaflight, and I haven't downloaded Betaflight and been through that yet.
Curtis, another one is Joshua Bodwell.
Yes.
He got some awesome videos on that. That's where I learned how to do it myself. And
Joshua Bodwell.
Very clear.
Install on that radio that you have.
Right.
The one that I have through Blue Falcon only does QX7 radios.
Step by step, how to do and set it up.
If you guys got the link, send it to me in Facebook or something.
I'll send you the Blue Falcon video anyway.
Okay.
Because it's an FR Sky radio, and pretty much the menus aren't that far off. But this guy, I bookmarked this. And what happened, Justin?
He has to set up the switches in the remote settings too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once you set up the switches in a remote, then when you plug the drone in a Betaflight, you'll be able, and you say the radio's already bound to the controller.
Yep.
It just you just need to
hook that up, and then we also set it up so that I can get on Liftoff and Drone Racing League, and it was that part was working last night.
Okay, well, to keep Paul and Matt from falling asleep, I'll send.
No, listen, I'm trying to get actually.
I'll send you the link to Blue Falcon. Like I said, he's no longer alive. So if you leave a comment, no one's going to respond or whatever.
Mr.
But
Crowley, what was the name of the
and
other
Joshua Bodwell.
Joshua Bodwell.
And what's the remote you have again?
Oh, I've got the FR Sky X Lite.
Oh yeah,
FR Sky X Lite. Okay, I'm gonna, you know what? Write that down now, and I'll see what I can find on it. But this guy, Blue Falcon.
Stop Drone Bomb. No, we can't talk about the pickle anymore, Drone Bomb.
No, because then we're going to
pickles tonight.
No more pickles.
Hey,
Val's
Val
not
came
talking
in
about
here.
pickles.
Hello, no pickles. Hey, Val, hello. Oh, there's Val. Well, I sent her an invite, but she chose not to come in, I guess. But you can still come in, minus the pickle, Val. We've already had a puppy and a rabbit on here. We don't need a pickle.
and a big duck.
Anyway, we appreciate you all. It's 6:23. We have like maybe another half hour to go with this live stream. Matt.
Yes, sir.
What's going on your end? Those of you who don't know Big Matt, he's on Those Guys. He's in Those Guys, New York City. And if you're not in the group, you need to be, but you need to get in. The only way you can get in is by knowing someone. So if you know one of us, here
Am
on the
I in?
panel, and we're willing to vouch for you.
Mr. Crowley wants to know if he's in. Is he acceptable?
Mr. Crowley's in the group already.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Look, I'm on
yeah,
the
he's in the
website.
group.
yeah, and Mr. Crowley doesn't even use Facebook much.
No, I
Crowley's,
gotta do,
Crowley's always in.
I don't have a whole lot of video. Actually I had shitloads of, excuse me, I got a ton of videos. And
Well, there goes demonetization.
I just
There it goes.
Well, I think that kind of went an hour ago, but it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
thanks for having my back. Forget that.
Between the duck video, the
duck video, the
You
puppy,
bringing
the
puppies on
rabbit,
board.
Mr. Crowley showing his rabbit, and then now Paul showing Mananana.
this is a kids channel.
This I couldn't declare it a kids channel. I couldn't. If I walked in a room and my child was watching that screen with a bunch of men on it, I'd be like, "What the?"
Hey, I got a question. Now, when YouTube went around and said, "Is your channel a kids channel or not a kids?" I said, "Mine's not." Does that automatically cover everything?
What happened? Repeat
YouTube.
that?
Well, it does. According to Andrew, and I talked to him about this earlier, it does, but that doesn't mean that somebody can't go through and see one of your videos, like my duck video, and say, well, this will appeal to kids, so it's not a kids channel.
So
The
then
only thing you have to worry about, Mr. Crawley, when you're doing a video is if you're doing a vlog, children in the background, something that would attract a child's eye. You could have you could have a child in the background watching TV, and because that television is on, that might be considered a children's video just for that. But it has to do with time too. I mean, if you're walking by or something like that and you're vlogging, I don't think that classifies. But if you sit down next to the kid and start laughing at the cartoon with them, then you have something to worry about.
The other side of that is there's the because so I'll try to make this quick and make the story short. My father was in the military. So when you move around the world, following your father to different bases and stuff, they give you a weight limit on your whole goods, on what you can ship. And the very first thing to go when you're overweight is your toys. So for years and years and years, as we got moved around to different countries and stuff, I would always have to give up my toys because the furniture is going to take precedence over toys.
Oh man, my toys are gone.
Right. So as an adult, I compensate for that, and my wife knows that. So I have a lot of toys that I buy for me. For instance, I have a huge Hot Wheels collection. I have about 300 cars, probably about 2 miles worth of track. If I were to sit down and and I thought about making a video about all these cars and setting up all this track and running them and stuff, just to do it, just to have fun. But now I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute, kids are going to watch this and I'm going to get in trouble, which is just ridiculous. Why can't you be an adult and make a living like an adult, pay your taxes and don't get in trouble or anything, and just talk about your hobby? Why can't you do that? Why is that such an issue?
Because there are people,
the world we live in.
There are people that sit in think tank rooms and they try to figure out ways how to make money off of people when there's not a way to make money off of people. Just like there's usually someone, I don't think actually sitting in a room, but there's usually someone sitting there saying, wow, what's the next drug we could come up with that everybody will get hooked to and we'll make millions off of?
No, that's the government.
I don't think there's actually someone there doing it, but it has happened.
China.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
China's doing that.
Have you guys ever seen this one?
Hot Wheels car? What is no?
So this is a special Hot Wheels car that mounts a GoPro session on it. So
get out of here.
Now you can run your GoPro session down your track and follow another car, and you can point it either direction and you can film.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Curtis, this is going to kill you. I had all the old red lines.
Oh, I still have the red lines in the boxes.
I had all the old red lines. I had like the helmet. I had
the Red Baron.
I just had all the cars.
The Twin Mill, Paddy Wagon. Yep.
I gave me like 300 cars.
Hey, Indigo Rhino, when are you going to come on here, man? I see. I saw you on a few other live streams. You got to come on here to get that blue wrench.
Well, would you guys, so if I did do that, if I made a Hot Wheels video where I put my GoPro on here and set all that track up and run it around the track and everything, is that something you guys would be interested in as adults?
I'd watch it.
I'd
You'd
watch
watch
it.
it? Yeah.
I would watch it because I grew up through Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
You know, and then they came out with the cheaper car, Matchbox.
Yeah.
Matchbox,
You know,
yeah.
so now, if now what would keep my interest is we grew up in the projects and there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 apartments on each floor. And when you got off on my floor, you automatically knew not to open the door because everyone who had an AFX track would come to my building and we would set up the whole floor from the front of my door going around the elevator and coming back. And we would have 4 lanes. And now AFX track, slot racing and stuff like that, I would probably still watch that stuff. Next weekend, Rhino, I'll hit you up on Facebook. Definitely. That would be a good move.
I think I may still make that video.
You could, if you add a couple of loop-de-loops and a couple of high bank turns, and you have the little booster, you know, with the sponges that the car went through to make it go faster, have it shoot up on the wall.
I was thinking about adding little explosions too.
I'm sure some people would.
Take a hammer to them.
I was going to take make some little nitrogen explosions.
Have some dry ice laying under the track so it looks like fog.
Yeah, I was going to
do it up real
good.
Dry ice and you put it there in water, in a drop of water, and you can make it look like it's going through smoke. All of that. You can get quite creative with that.
Oh yeah.
Scalextrics. I'm not familiar with that. I'm going to have to look that up because that sounds like something electronic. It's like cars. Let's see what Scalextrics are. Because Joe in Ireland says he's, oh shoot, Scalextric cars and sets. Okay, that's the European version of slot racing. Okay, very good. See, you learn something new every day.
Guys, I have to wrap it up because I got to go out.
You got to wrap up.
I just got
well, he's got to wrap up the.
Who are you wrapping up?
Half of him.
Who are you wrapping up?
No, he's
I didn't know you were a rapper. Let's hear some rap.
No, he's got to put pants on. Is what
boom, chicka boom, chicka boom, boom. Oh, it's the wrong beat.
Yeah, wrong beat.
He's got to put.
Okay, drone bomb.
I can't rap. I can sing.
Uh-oh.
Strangers in the night.
Not here.
Exchanging
Lawrence
glasses.
Lawrence can teach you how to do that spinning and stuff. That.
Does Lawrence dance? Is that what the deal is?
Yeah.
No.
Uh-oh.
Have we seen Lawrence dance? Is there a video of this?
Paul is experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
There must be some truth about this.
He got awards for breakdancing, didn't he?
Don't listen to it.
Did you
Joe
really?
Max, over 45 years now, dude. Slot racing was what got me into cars, and when I was able to, I actually had 12 cars. But Joe Max.
Slot racing and breakdancing are about the same thing, aren't they?
I'm ignoring you, Paul. I'm talking about slot racing.
Guys, be good.
Says he still has his cars and track.
Mr. Crowley.
Mr.
All
Crowley,
righty. Have a good one.
Fly safe. All right, I'd say tonight was a pretty good live stream.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Now we're up to breakdancing. I think that's good.
You know, you notice
Mr.
Mr. Ed McMahon is always instigating Sugar Honey Iced Tea. All right.
Herman can attest to it, right?
Herman can attest to shit.
Justin knows about it. That's why he's chuckling.
What, Lawrence breakdancing?
Justin, have you seen the video of Lawrence breakdancing? Is that it?
I heard about it. I haven't seen it.
There is no video. Don't believe the hype. Paul, stop it. Stop it. You should be in politics, man. Paul should be in.
I think it's a conspiracy theory. I think there's a video.
There is.
Paul will make you believe something that's not true. Isn't that a politician? Believe something that's not true.
No, I heard someone say there's a video out. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Justin, and you feeding into this shit too.
There's a Beat Street Extra.
Thanks. We're not going anywhere, Mr. Flight Fanatics. We'll be here for another while. Oh, Billy Kyle's here. What's up, Billy?
Hey, Billy, what's good, man?
Havoc mini talk, dude. That was weeks ago. Come on now.
No, Billy's here to see the breakdancing. I notified him.
Paul, cut it out. Cut it out. Nobody doing no daggone breakdancing here. Yeah, Billy, the Mavic mini talk was weeks ago. We're a few live streams back, but we appreciate you popping in. How's it going in Phillyville? And has Philly drone life changed the droning laws there in Philadelphia? Is there a video of Novice Quad dancing? Are you serious? He's Googling it? No, there isn't. See?
Ballet dancer. Ballet dancer.
Comes up, I'm gonna pass out.
Oh, here it is. Street dancing championships.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not in it, so cut it out. You will never find
novice free dance lessons. Right here. This is Lawrence. This is him.
Yeah. My name is Mitch.
Here's his dance. Oh, so he ice skates as well.
Yeah. I navigate these streets.
Here we go. Capital Race, Novice Quad.
He's fast on his feet, that's for sure.
I don't know what's going on here.
Let's go see if we got go to videos here and see what we got.
If you find anything on the Novice Quads, I can tell you right now, it'll be a drone video. It damn sure won't be me breakdancing.
Well, if it's out there, Google will find
it. Hey, Billy, we're going to have to get together shortly before the year is out because those guys has some plans for 2020 and we'd like to include you in them. Hint, hint.
Oh, you guys don't have to. By the way, I heard you talking about Philly. You don't have to worry about him. He's on his way to Florida.
Philly Drone Life is on his way to Florida.
Yeah.
He's moving?
So now he's going to screw up the drone laws in another state?
Yep.
I can see him now. The dynamic range, and he's passing over a cruise ship.
Michael.
Oh no, he's going to be down there by the space shuttle flying over Johnson Space Center.
Oh no,
Michael is invading Disney World.
He won't get in the air. As soon as he gets in the air, someone's going to go, "Whoa!"
He needs to worry about helicopters. That's what he needs to worry about.
Well, I hope he travels safe, and I hope he I hope he travels safe and has fun while he's down there vacationing or whatever.
I did tell him that Disney World is a no-fly zone.
No-fly zone. Disney World is a no-fly zone.
Oh, he'll find out in a heartbeat. He'll find out.
He asked me if that meant by the hotels. I said, if it's on Disney property, yes.
Anything on Disney property from the hotels that stretch 2 to 3 miles outside of the park, those are all Disney hotels. Forget about it.
Yeah, because when I was down there and I was close to Orlando, I had to be at least maybe a mile outside of that bubble. And that's a huge bubble.
Even a lot of people don't know this, but there are actually residences on Disney World.
Yeah.
Very, very expensive to live there. And I know one of the guys that lives there used to work at NBC, the Gadget Guru. I don't know if you guys remember him or not. He's still a gadget guy, still loves drones, cameras, stuff like that. And he and his wife decided they were going to live there. And he said, it's really uncanny because I can't fly here. Even though I'm in a residential section, just like everybody else is, I can't take my drones out because I'm on Disney World property.
Joe Mack.
And it's just a bunch of houses. We're not talking hotels. We're talking like your neighborhood.
Joe Mack, you can't fly anything. Now, what's funny is you
could indoors.
And you could have a movie production on ground. You could have any type of camera in the world, any type of video camera. Well, not any type, but you can go in there with most cameras. But to fly a tiny whoop or anything, they're just not having it. Yeah. You might get tackled. I mean, down there, they don't play when it comes to flying.
He wanted to fly as mini down there.
And I kind of understand because they do a show every night, and then they have a scene where remember when I went with my daughter and wife, where Tinkerbell, after this great battle, flies from the top of the castle off into the distance. And I can honestly see why they wouldn't want any drones flying around during that, because you can't even see the cable because that's how high up she is.
We were at Six Flags in Texas one time, and they were doing a Batman show, and we were 3 blocks away, and it was on this huge tower that this fight was taking place between the Joker and the Penguin and Batman and Robin and all that. And at the end of this thing, the tower explodes, but Batman and Robin escape down this not rappelling line. What is it? Zip line. And what my wife and I didn't know was the zip line ended right where we were standing. So they came and they landed right beside us, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's pretty cool."
Well, I'm a little jealous. I passed the weight requirement for getting on zip lines, and I was kind of disappointed because I went with my daughter on a school trip, and my wife and everybody could get on, and I'm like, "Yo,
you are only one."
I've always wanted to zip line," and the guy said, "Sir,
Nope.
unfortunately you can't get on." And I'm like, "Why?" "Hey, Rojo."
Hey,
He says,
Robert.
"Because there's a weight requirement." And I'm like, "So what are you trying to say?" And this is when I came to realize that I may be bigger than the average person, because he's like, there's only a 200-pound weight limit on this zip line. And at the time I was only about 230. And I was like, "Come on, man. They say it's rated for 200. He says, "Dude, if I put you on this zip line and you pull a tree down, you could kill somebody." So after that, I just gave up and said, "You know what? I should file a complaint."
Pull a tree
Well,
down.
you should.
What's up, Rojo?
You should have gone and find the line for Sasquatch zip lining.
You got jokes now, huh, Paul?
The Hulk doesn't need a zip line.
Well, all I can say is I got tired of walking now. I got tired of the park. There were zip lines and ropes that you climb up a tree 3-4 stories in the air. They have a platform you get on. You know, it's an obstacle course place, and they have zip lines all over. And I was the only one not smiling there because I couldn't do nothing.
Lawrence, you should have asked him how to get the ski lift up there.
Yeah.
The ski lift.
Yeah.
I wish. And what's funny is I went specifically on this trip because I usually chaperone my daughter's trips. And they were like, "Oh, Mr. Clark, come on. They got zip lines," the teachers and stuff beefing it up because their little skinny boys can get on the zip line,
And
it
the
was
size
messed up.
2 thinks it fits everybody.
But it was messed up because I had to get on. I had to walk up to each zip line and then walk down where everybody else rode the hell down. So I spend the day freaking walking around. Probably it will be in the area of late December. Okay, that's a good move, Billy. That's a good move. Late December. Well, we're hoping that the winter isn't too bad, but anyone order the Skydio? Billy Kyle wants to know. Paul on the panel has. I don't know if anyone else has. I'm waiting to see.
I got a question for Billy though. Did you know that Lawrence is now seriously considering buying the Mini, but he was waiting?
Sorry, Billy. Paul is experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
He was waiting to hear from his buddy Billy to find out whether he should order the Mini or not.
Billy, I'm not getting the Mavic Mini.
He said he wasn't getting a Mavic Pro either. So
and I have one. Yeah. And your point is?
I mean, I really think it's a nice drone, except for everything automatic. I mean, it's nice.
What, the Mavic Mini? You're going to see a lot of people. You're going to hear of a lot of tourists around the world getting caught flying a drone. And you're going to go, "Wait, he got caught flying a drone here? What is it?" And they're going to go as the Mavic Mini.
Well, did you see what Billy said
Billy
there?
Billy says he's seriously surprised by it. And I did watch your videos, Billy. And I'm not anti-Mavic Mini. I guess I am. I just have, okay, Herman. Herman's going, yes, he is. I'm anti-Mavic Mini.
He's anti-Mini.
Billy, all I can say is, Billy, for the $400 I spent on that Mavic Mini, I could buy a fully built racing drone.
I'm not going to buy one.
Huh? Well,
I'm not buying a Mavic Mini.
One and some parts. What happened?
I said I'm not buying a Mavic Mini.
Well,
Not at full retail.
No, I'm not even. I'm not even at
Well, Curtis.
not even at a used price.
Curtis.
he
Now,
If you
says
notice,
told us-
you notice my
Curtis, you
Christmas
told us
crawl.
last
I've even
time
changed it. I don't even have it on my Christmas crawl anymore.
You
well,
did
Billy
have it on
says,
your
but if you have
Christmas
other
crawl.
drones like the Mavic Pro, the Phantom, etc., then I don't know. It's not that, Billy. You know what it is? It's almost, it would be stepping backwards. It's like walking backwards. You take a step forward and then you take a step back. If I wanted a drone to teach people how to fly, like I use this big red clunker up here, you know why? Because it can fall from the sky from 50, 60.
You know, Billy, you ought to come on the show and convince us what a great drone
Yeah.
it is.
Yep. Yep.
You know, Lawrence,
he's done
everything has
videos.
its use, man.
He's done videos on the Mavic Mini,
Yeah.
and I like the coloring of it, the auto coloring. I mean, maybe a little overexposed, but other than that, the coloring's pretty good on it. He's taking a trip to Canada. Billy says he's taking a trip to Canada and will be happy to have a drone under 200. Yeah, you know why? Because if you fly a drone near any animal, they're going to shoot it out the sky. So might as well beat a Mavic Mini. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, Billy. You set that one up.
Listen, everything has its purpose.
Eli says he got the Mavic Mini. Same day it came out. Let me tell you, it's more than the beginner drone.
Look out.
I'm just messing with you, Billy.
Telling you it's coming sooner
It
or
would
later.
be nice to get a drone across international lines.
The Mavic 2 soon become too big.
Hold on a second, guys. I think my wife is calling me to come park the car.
Oh, is that what it is? Did she find the pictures of you in your new hoodie thing with that?
You better get in here right now.
I just can't with you guys.
I don't care
really
what kind of
can't.
show you're on or what's important. You better get in here right now.
I have to go park the car.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, it's chilly
Paul and
outside.
Justin,
You
will you
better
take over and
you
ignore
better
us?
bundle up in that little thing with the footies and the whole bit when you go out and park the car.
You're not seeing no pictures like that, damn it. I'll be right back, guys. Give me a second, please.
Manamana.
Oh man.
Da-da-da-da.
Justin,
Manamana.
please entertain these guys.
Manamana.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Boom.
Manamana.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Manamana.
Da-da-da-da.
Manamana.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Manamana. You can't get that entertainment anywhere else but here on those guys.
Nope, those guys.
Nowhere else.
So Drone Life RC says I got $100 for someone to leak those photos.
Sure you can. Paul does the song on every live stream.
Well, I was trying to make you guys feel special here, you know.
Now, what photos is he looking for?
Photos of Lawrence in the booties.
Onesie.
Of him break. Oh, I thought you were talking about the ones with him breakdancing. So where'd he go? To park the car?
Yeah.
Well, he had to go put on his little outfit first.
What, the onesie to park the car?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's like this morning when we were on with Roger. It was so funny because I just thought about it off the top of my head. He came into the room and he put his sweater on. I'm like, what is this, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood?
Yep. Did he say good morning, neighbor?
No, but Lawrence, there's a video out there with Lawrence dancing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there is.
Well, even from the live stream.
Episode 2, right?
What happened?
I think that's episode 2.
It
I think
might
that's
be.
episode 2 when you was coaxing him on to dance. I think you got 2 or 3. Yeah. Yeah, that was Val that started that. Yeah.
Yep. Val and Paul got that started.
Yeah, exactly. He did a little shuffle before he stopped. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was for $50. Somebody had to donate some money to get him to dance.
Well, I think
I remember that.
Herman, didn't he say that he didn't have enough room to put the cardboard down, so he just did a different dance?
Well, I think what happened was Val was saying something about he'll dance for $100.
$100, yeah.
And then somebody started the super chat.
Yeah, well, Lawrence just says,
Super
"Oh yeah, I
chat,
did
yep.
that."
I just
And
got confirmation I got the gig at Pornhub.
And then he started sweating. Lawrence started sweating buckets. It went to 30, then to 40, then to 50, then to 60, then to 70. When we got to $85, boy, the sweat was pouring off him. He was using paper towels, full rolls of.
I remember that, yeah. Oh man. So how is the Mavic Mini, Paul? How is it? How do you like it?
Oh, it really is nice aircraft. I mean, it doesn't take the place of my Mavic 2 Zoom, but it is nice, small. Yeah. It handles just like the big ones.
Billy.
It flies, it's stable.
Billy said
it's why.
Billy says Paul is going to get this stream copyrighted. Billy, it was copyrighted hit minutes into the live stream.
Yeah.
That went out the window a long time ago. But thank you for caring.
Yeah, we know.
Paul, we appreciate you. And we know you're the Ed McMahon of all live stream here on YouTube. But the question is, when the hell are you going to have a live stream?
No.
You don't have to, right? Because
on all of my shirts, I have panelist written right here. Panelist. That's,
he's got a panelist tat on his arm.
You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And so
when to fold them.
Yeah.
Well, it's 6:50. We have a little bit of time left. Pusa Studios is going live after this.
And so that gives you 10 minutes to break dance.
We're still trying with this, man. Cut it out.
Got the sweater on, just throw the cardboard down.
Yeah, come on. Come on. Lawrence, do it. Oh, here he goes.
Here we go.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna be a throwdown. Here we go.
Yeah, right. Oh, FYI, for those you don't know, Herman didn't mention this, but you know that his high school team won the championship last year.
Oh, well, great.
They made it to the chip this year, and the chip is the final game. So maybe we'll have a repeat of Erasmus High School. And those you don't know, Herman, defensive coach, one of the defensive coaches on the team. And let's see if Herman gets 2 rings in a row.
Yep. Now, Herman, when is the final game?
What happened?
When is the final game?
December 4th, Yankee Stadium.
In Yankee Stadium. Yes, yes.
Yeah, everybody needs to get their
ticket.
Do a
flyover.
There you go.
You know, last year we did that. I think it was a couple of days before the game.
Yeah, we actually did. We were at the state. Herman and I were around the stadium, near the stadium, looking for a place to park and fly. And he was like, "Yeah, that's the entrance we go through." And would you believe would you believe it's cold in there? And he was telling us all about it.
Put you through it, get in there.
Yeah.
Like, we're here to play, not to watch.
It's
easier to get in to watch.
It's easier to get in to watch than it is to play.
Mm-hmm.
You just had a kid come in your video. That's it.
See, like I said, Billy, copyrighted, gone.
Well, we won't get a copyright strike for that.
No, we won't get a copyright strike, but we will. Well, this video is not for children. They make us decide all of that. You know that, Billy, now that you upload stuff. So we've already had a puppy, a rabbit. Last week it was a pickle. We had the Manamana behind Paul's screen. And we just had a child come in. And so all of that's out the window, Billy.
I'm going on my live stream tour. I'm going to get puppets and stuff from the kids upstairs. I'm going on live stream tour. All of the people that came in with pickles and lettuce and all kind of stuff to my live stream, I'm going over there to reap havoc.
My wife just said we should do a Christmas show. So we're gonna have to
There you
plan.
go.
We're gonna have to plan.
Oh, Christmas is on Wednesday, so it's Herman's show. Christmas
That's
is
right.
on Wednesday.
Christmas is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And everybody's gotta have eggnog.
Yep.
So Lawrence gets to dress up like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And the onesie.
No, you got no.
You don't
not-
go with all the onesies, Lawrence. I
I'm
don't
not
have
wearing
those.
a Scrooge onesie. Forget about it.
I don't have any of those things.
Everybody make sure you get screenshots of Lawrence at Christmas.
Especially if he comes on with that onesie. on.
With a Santa onesie.
Paul, they have a sign when you're in Brooklyn, leaving Brooklyn, going into Queens, and it says you are now leaving Brooklyn. Forget about it. All right? Forget about it. Christmas hat. See, Joe Mack is a little more reasonable than some of you guys on the panel.
He know he wanted to see you in that Christmas onesie too.
Yeah.
What's up, Michael?
Like
Blake?
a
You
big
never
red
leave,
one
bro,
with two
because
buttons
you
right
can always
here.
watch the pre-recording. We did have Andrew here from Pusa Studios, so you did kind of miss that, but
Hey,
you can
Herman.
always wait.
Yeah.
You can always wait till 20 minutes after the live stream, and then it'll be up and
Herman, we got about 3 weeks to find him that Christmas onesie.
Okay.
find Herman a onesie.
No, you.
No, for you.
You,
For
the
Lawrence,
big and tall
find
store.
Herman's onesie.
Listen, I hear what I
Oh.
want to hear. I heard him say
With
Herman.
two big buttons in the front, like
Yeah.
to fly.
Keep on,
Oh.
keep on. Only thing I'll wear
Technical
on Christmas.
difficulties.
How will dressed as the Grinch? I you know what? I'm not dressing as anyone on Christmas.
The
I'm not
Grinch,
gonna
the
be the
Grinch
Grinch.
onesie or what?
The
Mhm.
closest I'll do is have a hat.
Right, right.
Oh, that's right. Michael Blade said he's coming to New York in December. Dude, you come to New York, you need to come hang out with those guys and come fly with us, weather permitting. Weather permitting. Now, if you're into racing drones, if the weather's too bad for camera drones, we could do some FPV stuff too.
There you go.
And I'm not no pro yet, but I can at least fly under a couple of trees. and
Lawrence said that he can bounce off the ground with the best of them.
But after falling off of a skyscraper,
Yeah.
yeah, let us know on the live stream, either on Herman's live stream. Hold on a second.
He said he could clip a tree branch just like anybody.
Let on Herman's show Wednesday nights with those guys, or on this one Sunday nights with those guys. Let us know when you're coming, like a week before. 2 weeks would help. The further out would be the better.
Oh boy.
So we can kind of plan something. And now, if not, we would still have some great spots for you. Definitely. So if you want to come to New York and get some hot photos without getting into trouble,
Mhm.
ask one of us.
There's still a few places left in New York to fly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh?
there's a few places. A lot of places.
Well, if he's coming in as a tourist, so
Mhm.
all of the places that we're tired of or bored with, he would go, holy cow, how are you guys,
And Lawrence, we're coming up on your final drop.
yes,
The
it's time
final
for the
drop.
final drop, guys. And we're gonna get out of here.
Okay.
We appreciate you all. We appreciate you all. We appreciate you supporters and you lurkers outside of the chat room that just refuse to come in. But if I don't see you, have a very happy Thanksgiving, Turkey Day, at least here in the States. And if I don't see you until next time, Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those
guys.
Y'all sound like a bunch of wino. Those guys. Did you
Them.
hear that?
Those
Sponsored by
guys.
them.
Can we try that again?
Those
Sunday Nights with Those Guys was sponsored by
Those
Those
guys.
Yeah, you just got worse. Forget it. Anyway, we're out of here. We appreciate you all.
Good night, everybody.
Nico, I'll hit you up
All righty.
on Facebook, bro. All right. We
What?
appreciate you all.
Gonna hit somebody? Who's he hitting?